Hi y'all, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks and your girl has been working. I told you all last time that I am revamping some elements for my channel and socials, and so far I have been true to my word. No, don't look at the screen like that. I mean it. I mean it this time. I know it's been a couple weeks, but better late than never. Now, there are still a lot of elements that I need to flesh out, and I'm still working on finalizing everything from design, layout, a bunch of different things, but I wanted to show some progress. And to do that, I figured I would reintroduce myself and talk about some things that went into this Sona redesign. So, without further ado, um, check out the new digs and on with the video. One of the first things I wanted to revamp was my Sona herself. The original concept for this design was to represent me online, but I soon realized that I wanted to do more with the character and potentially turn it into a VTuber. With that in mind, I sat down to do some concept work and I decided on a magical girl with a celestial witch theme. What I didn't realize at the time that settling on this concept would call for two designs, one civilian and one transformed. That's where I started to take a critical look at the design, particularly the civilian design. Looking at the original concept, I realized there were a lot of things that didn't exactly make sense. The silhouette was fine, a little basic, a simple t-shirt and leggings definitely represented me on my day-to-day, but did little to add to the character itself. So clearly there were some things that could be improved upon, but realizing all this was at a time where art block was hitting me pretty hard. So I had only been playing around with drawings in my personal time, in my personal sketchbook, and I didn't really dedicate an amount of time to do a full redesign. That was until a streamer friend of mine, Mizzy Blooms, you should definitely check her out by the way, gifted me some art, and the outfit design she did in that art inspired me to actually go back and do a full redesign for my magical girl. Going into this redesign, there were two things that I wanted to keep in mind. One was to make sure that the character stayed plus size, and two was to build upon the original silhouette to make sure that I wasn't recreating the same silhouette, if that makes sense. There were also design elements from the original design that I wanted to carry over into the new design. One of them being her sugar skull, her glasses, and the pink hair. I am married to the pink hair. I love the pink hair. The pink hair is not going away. But what did end up going away was her long pink hair. I ended up cutting her hair shorter for a couple of different reasons. One, I felt it framed the face a little bit better. Two, it's easier to draw, I'm just gonna be honest. And I completely scrapped the old outfit and started to build a whole new outfit. One of the things that I wanted to convey was cozy and comfort because that's super important to me. So if this is supposed to be my Sona, I wanted to translate some of my personality traits into the Sona. But translating comfort can be tricky for a silhouette and can read flat, like it did in the original design. So to combat this, I really focused in on the word fluffy. And no, not just because it's a cuter way to say plus size. Because of the inspo outfit in my gifted art from Mizzy, she had the brilliant idea to draw inspo for the civilian design from her transformed outfit. So with her blessing, I wanted to build off of the sweater that she came up with. So fluffy sort of tied in with that. I decided on a scalloped edge fold over for the neckline. The idea was inspired from those oversized wool sweaters because those always look so comfy whenever you're scrolling through Pinterest. Another thing I had to keep in mind halfway through this process was not to over-design. The sweater alone was a statement piece, but I also wanted to be sure that the witch hat could be worn in her civilian and her transformed outfits seamlessly. And that was a little tricky since I added some elements to the hat to make it more visually interesting and a little bit more magical. The inseam of the hat now had a constellation map that was infused with magic, and for some flair, I added some gold beads for decoration. But one of the biggest adds was the markings of the sugar skull. And the reason why this was so tricky was because it had multiple colors that needed to go along with the overall purple and pink scheme. And on top of that, I wanted to make sure that it actually looked like a sugar skull. So, to avoid that over design, the leggings stayed. And because I was still thinking fluffy, the unicorn slippers were just for fun. Kind of like her house shoes when she's walking around the house. I also had this idea that her sketchbook would also work as her spell book. I would need to sit down and work out the details of her power system, but to tie in with that, I also had the idea that her pen tool transforms into her broom. When it came to color, I pretty much kept it the same to the original design, keeping the main colors pink, purple, and black, with yellow being the main accent color. This go around, I made sure to add more bits and bobs of yellow as well as some bits of blue to really complement the overall scheme. And I used a lot of gradients to give it that magical girl vibe and, of course, that celestial glow. Rendering this piece was my favorite part of this whole process, and I really had to trust the process going through this. Making something look effortless and intentional at the same time was hard as hell. But I definitely think this was needed, and now she looks freaking adorable, and I am obsessed with this design. I gotta shout out Mizzy one more time for giving me the inspiration. Looking at the two silhouettes, I can definitely see some improvement, and I definitely think the new design has a more recognizable figure, which is what you want when it comes to character design. There are probably some areas that I can still improve upon, but for now, I'm super happy with the design, and I think she came out adorable. Alright, everyone, there you have it, progress. Thank you all again for sticking with me through this process. You have no idea how much it means, and you'll be hearing from me again soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.